my friends, and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm, of course, Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the two idiots playing board games, and we're posting more often now. Today's video is going to be another comic book discussion, where I'm going to be discussing the character Wolverine. I'm basically going to be naming some of the storylines that I think are the most significant to read. You know, you may agree, you may not agree. Always put it in the comments either way. All right, so here we go. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start off with is the Origin series. You know, after years and years of Wolverine being a character and becoming a very popular one, they finally decided, hey, we got to come up with a past. And that's what there's a couple. I think it was two main Origin series, and then there was a third called Wolverine Origins. I think they covered some of the moments in his life that were pretty much in the comics, but his past is basically in Origins 1 and 2. So yeah, it covers from him as a boy, you know, growing up. Saying, you know, they show him as like a sickly boy, and then all of a sudden his mutant powers kick in, and you know, not only does he become a bit stronger, but he also starts sprouting those claws, much to the surprise of his parents, especially because like they had it where his father was very abusive, and he wound up killing his father, which then of course his mother turned on him. So yeah, nice start for him, right? And then it just kept going on and on. Excuse me, from there, where it's like, you know, they show him dealing with his more wild nature, dealing with the animal instincts that he was developing, you know, with all the you know, the stronger senses. I think they eventually show him almost like living with wolves at one point, which I thought was pretty cool. You know, they just really, they try to cover as much of his youth as possible, but showing that he was basically pretty much alone. And even Sabretooth, you know, Victor Creed, who is seemingly alive at the time, you know, he was you know, part of his. I think he was employed by his father, and eventually, you know, when Logan just, or as John Howlett, as he is actually called, when he basically, you know, kind of like went wild and killed his father. That's when, you know, Sabretooth kind of just went, you know, just kind of went his own way, but always had Logan in his sights. You know, so you know, so yeah, so Origins is definitely, you know, well, Origin, I should say. Origin is definitely, you know, worth the read. You should be able to find it in a trade. I haven't looked yet, but I will. And if I find it, I am going to put the link in the comments. All right. So you know, you know, do you know, I mean, if you wanted to, you know, read about the beginnings of Wolverine, that's a good place to start. So next, I want to talk about one that it's a series that came out recently. Not really part of canon, although it does kind of have a lot of Wolverine's past, you know, and you know, both known and unknown in it, is Predator versus Wolverine. Now, I covered this once before. I'm only going to, you know, talk about it briefly here, but it is a good story to read. I found it very entertaining. It covers all different. I mean, it's a 4-issue series. Each one covers a different point in Logan's life. I think the first one was when he, you know, when he was in his youth. You know, just starting off with his, you know, with his abilities. I think the second one goes to when he was in the Weapon X program, and then after that, it's you know, I think the last two. Well, I think the last one. I mean, well, the third one. I'm sorry. I think that one covers part of his time in the X-Men, and then the last one is less about his past, but more about, you know, the fact that the Predator has come back and is trying to kill him. So, you know, just showing him battling him and of course surviving. But yeah, but Predator versus Wolverine is definitely an entertaining story, and I definitely say it's worth a read. You know, I'll have the link in the description. I'll do that for all the storylines I'm going to talk about, and you know, so if you know, definitely, you know, give it a shot if you want to. If you like both Wolverine and the Predator, definitely give it a shot, because you know, it really kind of shows like the hunting instincts of both of them. It's like two hunters, you know, coming at each other. You know, first Wolverine's the prey, and then eventually when he turns the tide, the Predator becomes the prey, and it's very entertaining. I know I've said that several times, but it is. Yeah, I can't say it enough. So the one I want to talk about next is a story from. It's called Rogue Logan. It's part of one of the one of the Wolverine series, basically where Wolverine starts to lose his healing ability, and is kind of pretty much dying, because all the adamantium on him, without the healing factor, basically poisons him. So, it shows him basically trying to adapt now that he can't really use his claws all that much. It shows him. I mean, it also shows like a nice uh, relationship starting between him and Aurora Monroe Storm, where the two of them start to get very very close, and it's so like I said, it's basically him adapting to the fact that he's losing his powers, the fact that he's that he doesn't heal anymore, pretty much. Almost like what was happening to him in the movie Logan. It's kind of along the lines of that, except in this one he doesn't take as much of a beating as he did in that movie. But yeah, he's so it's good to see because it shows him, that it shows like his intelligence side, I guess. It's like in my opinion, because then it shows how he can literally adapt, to a different situation and learn, kind of like relearn how to go about doing things. So yeah, I mean, and trust me, I mean, well, sorry, yeah, he does throughout that story try to not use his claws at all, because every time he popped those claws, he just keep bleeding, and that's of course a problem. So so yeah, Rogue Logan. I mean, I'm not sure if it's in a trade, but I will look, and if it is, I will have it in the description. So the next one I want to talk about is basically like kind of like the natural progression from Rogue Logan. We go to the death of Wolverine. So again, this shows where he's basically no longer able to heal, and he's got everybody, all of his villains are coming at him. So Death of Wolverine was actually a 4-issue series, and it ended. So basically it's like I said, all of his villains start coming at him. They're all trying to get a piece of him. Anybody who had a grudge against him is now coming at him, and it's it's basically kind of like him against everybody at this point, and so it basically ends with him being covered in like newly formed adamantium, and it's almost like a like what's the best word I could use for it? Almost like a cocoon shell or something, like that. And so then that was it pretty much. So it's like everybody saw him like that and was like, this is it. So it's but it is a good read. It's definitely entertaining, and it definitely at that point we weren't sure if they were going to bring Wolverine back. Although we all pretty much suspected that they would, because in Marvel Universe, death is never eternal. But yeah, so it's a good read. It's definitely interesting, and it kind of like also leads into the next chapter of Wolverine. In the comics. So definitely check that out. All right, so the next one I want to talk about is the Sabretooth War. Basically, Sabretooth is coming after him. This is during the Krakoan era, but it's like of course, at this point, he's got Dakin, who is his son. He's got Laura Kinney, who is a clone of him, but is basically like his daughter. They're all, in a like a special place, like up north, because it's snowing. It's like there's snow and ice all over the place, and Sabretooth is coming after him, but instead of coming after him directly, he starts going after his family and starts killing them off one by one. So he gets, and he kills off Dakin. He tries to go after Laura. I think he severely injures her, but doesn't kill her. And then eventually goes after Wolverine, and just keeps coming at him until, basically it's like one of them has to go. I think we could all guess who that was. But yeah, it's so Sabretooth War is definitely it's a bit heartbreaking, with some of the crap that Wolverine has to go through. But it is a good read. It's definitely entertaining, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to read a very good Wolverine story. So definitely check that. So the last one I want to talk about, and trust me, these aren't the only good Wolverine stories. There's plenty more. I just, it's just like only so much I could cram into a video. But basically, it's like I don't even know what the name of the series would be, I could just only thing I could call it is the post Krakoan era, when it's like when they basically were restarting all the mutant related titles. So with Wolverine, he basically was up north again, and at one point he was going after Wendigo until he found out basically it was a kid, and he is desperately trying to gain control over the Wendigo, and so he kind of spares him, but also tries to like mentor him, tries to keep him safe. But then of course anybody who has had adamantium or has used it, whatever, is now being called to this place. Now I didn't read the entire thing yet because unfortunately I wasn't able to get all the issues yet. And I know this is an old story, but this is definitely one to check out. I mean, the beginning was great. I mean, it's like it's like it's like one character after another was starting to come out of the woodwork. I believe Constrictor was one of them, and there were others, but unfortunately I can't remember them. Can't remember their names, but and I know I should prepare better for this, but got to bear with me on this. I'm still working my way through all this, so. But anyway, definitely, if you get a chance to check out any trades or any of the issues from the newest Wolverine series, please do. It is very, very good. At least I thought so. And once I'm able to keep up with my comics again, I will definitely be continuing that story. At the very least. And so I mean, definitely give it a shot. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. That's all I wanted to talk about. If hopefully I'm hoping to open up a discussion about these stories that I mentioned. Hoping to if you want to talk about this, or you want to bring up any other Wolverine story, please do in the comments. The comments are always going to be open, and I do look on at least a weekly basis to see if anybody made a comment. So yeah, just keep it within the realms of good taste. All right, so I mean that's all I'm going to have for today. So please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible. If you know anybody else who likes comics and likes to have a talk or a discussion about them, please share this with them. I'm at 37 subscribers right now. I'm trying to reach 50. I'm trying to get a little bit more aggressive on how many subscribers I want to reach. I eventually want to reach more, of course, but 50 is a good number. And hope you enjoyed just listening to what I had to say. I would love in the comments to see what you have to say, and let's just go from there. All right, so take care of yourselves, keep reading, and enjoy, because that's what these comics are for. They're for us to enjoy. All right, so have a great day, and I'll see you again.